2 pages, all right? Yesterday, Isabella asked me about facing pages. So right now, my document has facing pages. On a 2-page document, you really don't need them. All it's going to do is either do this or do them underneath the other. Really your call. Facing pages are more for when we have like a magazine spread, an annual report, like multiple pages, 10, 12, 14, 16 pages. 2-page document, you don't necessarily need them. It's not going to bother you one way or the other. All right? So now I'm going to file place or Command D my illustration. Right in. I'm going to drop it. Now this is what I'm talking about. So if you want to use the bleed, basically I'm going to take this, and here's another trick. We know that Shift Command, you have to hold Shift and Command to scale the container and the image, right? If we just hold Shift, all we're going to scale is the box that the image is in. Shift Command scales the thing. Now if I hold Shift Command and Option, I'll actually scale from the center and I can pull it out to the bleed. Remember, Option, even in Illustrator and in InDesign and in Photoshop, scales from the center. So you'll see, really not that big of a deal. You're going to notice that in some areas it's going to run over where the bleed is. In some areas it's going to run right to the bleed. This one I probably need to make a little bit bigger. All right? So it really doesn't take much of my design, so I'm really okay with that. Not a big deal. I'll pull this down a little bit more. Okay? So there's my design. When it's trimmed, that's what it's going to look like. And I'm happy with that. It's not cutting anything major. It's not making a real big difference in anything I've got. It's 1/8 of an inch. Okay? So that's the front of my card. So now I'm going to work on the back. Now I already told you that you need a space, excuse me, where you can have the area for the recipient. All right? That's 3.5 by 2. What that means is basically this. You have to take, I usually do this when I'm designing a card. I make this box 3.5 by 2 inches. I fill it with just a color. Doesn't really matter what color. And this is where I can't put anything. So here's why. Direct mail is sorted by a machine. Okay? It's also the other reason why the card is long and not this way. All right? You actually have a machine that the card goes through the machine like this, and it reads a barcode that gets put on. It's actually a special font. It's really somewhat interesting, somewhat not really that interesting to you. Okay? But the machine feeds through, okay? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm a sub. They sent me here.
Yep, right on that room. There's nobody here till 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
You got it. So, zips through this way. Zoom, zoom, zoom. The machine reads it. Okay? It needs to be able to see the address. All right? So, you can have a solid block of color. You might even have, like, I used to get away with, like, if it was a beach scene, using the dune, something like that. But it's got to be an area where it's easily readable. Okay? So you have to kind of decide on where that's going to be. And it needs to be the bottom right-hand corner. Mail is really, really specific. I mean, like, super specific. Okay? And so the rest of this is your area to design with. All right? So you have that one little business card sized area that you don't have to worry about putting the address in. I'm not worried about that. All right? So that's how you're going to set that up. So the next part of this, all right, and looking at it, is our master page and our character style. Now, on a direct mail piece, you really wouldn't use a character style, and you probably really wouldn't use a master page item in real life. For me, I'm going to make you do it just to practice it, okay? You, again, use character styles and master page items for a document that has 10, 12, 15 pages, or a restaurant menu, because restaurant menus usually have, like, the menu item, description, and then price. So usually multiple fonts going on there, okay? So how do I create a character style? That's the easy part. You're basically going to create your type. So I'm going to figure out my font. I'll go through here, find something fun. One more thing, I showed this to Dakota. I can't remember if I showed it to you guys. I show you guys so many things. I'm sure you say the same thing. We're going to get away from the font. Okay, we're going to get away from those font sites because generally speaking, they're a little scattered. And they're also really difficult because if you don't remember the font that you downloaded, blah, 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 blah. We're going to deal with Adobe. You guys all have an Adobe account. So right next to Find More, if you click, you have access to the entire Adobe font library. Okay? This is where you're going to get new fonts. You can filter the fonts that you have, and you can filter the fonts that you're looking through. So I can go up here to my filter, I can click on it, and I can say, well, I want it to be something that's decorative. And now it's only going to show decorative fonts. Okay? So I would pick one, and you'll notice sometimes, and I know Dakota had an issue yesterday with, and I'll show you when you try to activate it, sometimes it's a little glitchy. I didn't have as big as a problem as Dakota did, but it's happened. So let's say I want to use this font. There's this little cloud guy right here. Click Activate. Okay? Activate this font, and I'm going to just click on Don't Show Again, because if I click on Activate, you don't need to ask me again. And I'm going to click OK. And you'll notice that it'll go through and it'll say activating, okay, and it'll kind of do its thing. Now it says a check mark. All right, so I have Burnaby. I think that's what they call it. So I click back. This is the only thing I find annoying is once I click back, for some reason it doesn't go to the font I just downloaded, because I feel like that would make too much sense. Like I just downloaded it. I kind of want to use it. Okay, so now I'm just going to type in Burnaby. I'm going to get rid of my filter here for a second. Let's see. See, now this is the issue we had before, right? So let's do time. I don't want you. So notice, and again, so now I'm having the same issue that Dakota had, where the install seems to be a problem. So let's click over here for a second. Let's try another one. Activating. Activated. Click on you. All right, so that one worked. Okay. So you make it the size you want it. Once you're ready to go, you go to your styles. So you're going to go to Window, Styles. Remember, we talked about this before. There's character styles and there's paragraph styles. Technically, character styles is for like a header. Paragraph styles is for a paragraph of type. I'm not going to be that particular. I kind of use them back and forth. Generally, I stick with just character styles because it makes more sense to me. All right. So I go to my character style. You're going to create a new character style. With it highlighted, it's going to base it off of that particular thing. See that? So everything here is I need. So I can hit OK. And now I have my character style, which I would name header. Okay? Obviously, these come in more handy again. You have a multiple-page document with 30 headers. You don't want to change all 30 headers one at a time. You want to change them once. And again, the nice part about character styles, I can go in here, and I can click, and if I had this in a couple of spots, then I click my header, and I say, you know what, I decided that I want the size to be a little bit larger. It'll adjust it. All right, really nice effect. Another thing, if you go to the corner here and just double click, it'll scale the type to the size that you need it. Same here, double click, scale the type. All right, to the box. So that's your character styles. Any questions on character styles? That's the easiest way to do it. You decide the font you want, you go to your character style, you say new character style, you name it, done. Got to have one of those. Master page items. Your master page item could literally be the front of the postcard. Again, all I'm worried about in this particular instance is that you know how to set up a master page item and you understand what it is. All a master page item is, when you plop something down into a page, it shows up on every page. Now, in facing pages, it shows up on every even page or every odd page, depending on which one you put it on. Okay? So if you wanted something, like if you had a blue bar to go on every single page of your magazine, you'd put it on both sides of the master page. I'll show you what I mean. So let's say on the bottom of this, back of this postcard, I'm going to go to my pages. Here's my master. You'll notice in facing pages, these guys are next to each other. Non-facing pages, they're not. All right? So if I go ahead and take this, I'll say, you know what? I want a blue bar to be on every one of my documents. I'm going to go here. I'm going to make it a black bar because I don't feel like looking up a color. You'll notice now I go back. The bar shows up here, which always makes me laugh. And then here is the bar on that page. And as I make new pages, it shows up. Okay? So you could literally go to your master page and drop the front of your postcard in. The nice thing about master page items is also that it's locked. All right? I can't do anything to it, so I can't mess it up on myself. I go to try to grab it, I can't grab it. So you need one character style and you need one master page item. And then you need to figure out how you're going to make it look. All right, so I would go back to my pages here, and obviously you're going to be able to do this a little bit better than I am because I cheated and I just grabbed an image. All right, but maybe I grab my postcard, I bring it over here, and I take part of my design, and it's tucked over here. And I use the rest to enter the information: time, location, name of the event. All right? I'm not dealing with you guys with addressing anything right now. I'm more just worried about the layout and the design. So this is the second part of this, if you will. This is due Friday. Okay, I would love to get a critique in tomorrow. We'll see where everybody's at. All right, because we haven't had one really with this. But this is due on Friday. Postcard completed and done. Questions? Okay, I'm stopping my